I'd like to explain to you what every educator in the entire world has been going through this week, the 4 and 5 days leading up to Halloween's. So I'd like to do this by comparing what would happen in your place of work, your hospital, your office, your police department, your bank, wherever you work, what it would be like if you celebrated Halloween the same way that our children's do. So for the past 4 days, you've gotten nothing done. Because every time you try to get somebody to do something, all they want to do is talk about their costume. And they're drawing pictures of costumes and trading with each other. And they're talking about candy. All they want to talk about is candy, how much candy they're going to get. So you don't get nothing done the 4 or 5 days before Halloween. Now, the day before Halloween is just as bad. Because you walk in to eat your lunch in the lounge or in the workroom, and it's so loud because everybody's screaming and yelling and throwing food and jumping out of their seats because they're so excited. You can't even sit down and eat your lunch. It's just ridiculous. And you got people fighting, and you got to deal with it all day long because they realize they're wearing the same costumes and they didn't want anybody to wear their costume. So now you got colleagues fighting all day long. And you got somebody in your office that's crying because they announced that they were going to hand out carrots at their house as a healthy alternative to candy instead of candy. And everybody made fun of them. So now you're dealing with people that are crying all day long. And guess what? You got somebody in your office that's already got their costume on. Even though you send out a newsletter saying wear them on this day, they're wearing them the day before Halloween's. And when you call home and you say, hey, could you come to the office and bring some clothes because they're not supposed to have a Halloween costume on today, that person says, well, we couldn't decide between two costumes, so we just bought them both costumes and thought it would be okay if they could wear costumes 2 days in a row. And when you say no, that person screams and yells at you and asks you what they're supposed to do with two costumes, and they don't want to come up there. Now, the day of Halloween is absolutely crazy. Now, you sent out 3 newsletters, 4 emails. You put it on Facebook, or Instagram, Twitter, and in every planner what an appropriate costume is. You said no scurry masks, no bloody masks, no weapons, even fake weapons, no inappropriate costumes, and make sure your costume is one that you can do work in because it's a work day. But that morning, you're seeing a bunch of plastic swords and ninja stars and fake guns. You got scurry costumes with bloody masks, and those people are jumping out, scurrying some colleagues, and those colleagues are crying all over the place. You got to deal with that. And then you got some people with very inappropriate costumes on. You got a Hermione Granger with a short skirt, and you got Aladdin with no shirt on. You got to deal with that. And then you got people like in a blow-up dinosaur costume trying to do their work in blow-up dinosaur costumes. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then you got to deal with busted lips and busted eyes because nobody can walk. They're running everywhere, spinning around, skipping, and they're running into each other all over the place. That's what Halloween is like. The next day is just as bad. You know why? Because they've eaten candy all night long, didn't sleep. And for breakfast, whoever's in charge of breakfast just said, just go ahead and eat it. Because all they asked for was candy. And they snuck candy in their pockets. And they've eaten candy all the way to the office. And when they get there, they're blah, 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 jumping out of their seat. They can't do nothing for like 5 hours. And then the afternoon, they sleep because they've gotten to a sugar down. That's what Halloween's been like and what it would be like in your office. Just saying.